Socrates, Plato ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು Socrates ಶಿಷ್ಯ, ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲ್ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ಲೇಟೋ ಶಿಷ್ಯ.
ಈಗ ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರಿಗಿಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರು ಇದ್ರಾ? ಯಾರಿದ್ದು?
ಪೈಥಾಗರಸ್ ಇದ್ದ.
ಪೈಥಾಗರಸ್ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹಿಂದೆ
ಹೆರಾಕ್ಲಿಟಸ್ ಇದ್ದ.
ಓಕೆ,
ಇದ್ರು ಅವರು, ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. ಎಪಿಕ್ಯೂರಸ್ ಇದ್ದ.
ಆವಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಸಾಮ್ರಾಜ್ಯ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು?
ಆವಾಗ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಬುದ್ಧ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ. ಅದೊಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ 2500 BC is ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಇನ್ ದ ಈಸ್ಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. In India, Buddha, Mahavira happened. In China, Lao Tzu happened. Same times. This was a kind of a mystical golden era. That period is called spiritual. Certain people are inclined like that. Bodhidharma, Shankaracharya, a lot of people. Certain people are like, it's like certain periods of time will be conducive for your enlightenment. Certain time periods.
Start ಮಾಡಿ.
Okay. It will be just conducive for your enlightenment. So though that during those certain peaks, human consciousness will kind of arise. This is why India is divided into Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, you know.
ಆವಾಗ ಕಲಿಯುಗನೇ ಇತ್ತು ಸ್ಟಿಲ್.
Debatable. Again, debatable. Depends on whom you are talking to.
ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ಯುಗಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಲಕ್ಷ ವರ್ಷ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಹಂಗಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಯುಗನ ಏನ್ ಕತೆ? ಪಾಂಡವರ ಕಾಲದ ಯುಗ ಯಾವುದು?
See, the people back then weren't thinking in such big things. Universe, no. We are talking about the world in a certain way. I'm saying. Now we talk about the universe because we know we are living in a galaxy. Back then, the ideology was completely different. Okay, we are living in a relatively small world.
ಈಗ ಮಹಾಭಾರತ ರಾಮಾಯಣಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಈಗ 2000 years ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್.
Almost anywhere between 1500 to 2500 BC.
Before Christ.
Krishna existed.
ಅವಾಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟು ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಸೈಡ್ ಈಗ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಶೇರ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಆ ಕಡೆ ಸೈಡ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು? ಅರಿಸ್ಟಾಟಲ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಮಹಾಭಾರತದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಬರೀಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇರಲಿಲ್ವಾ?
No, see, Aristotle, many actually Greek works, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, all their works were actually kind of lost or nobody cared about, because after a few days this dark ages started. Dark ages means when the Christianity was ruling, and they weren't allowing all these fancy things, inquiry, this, that and all. So Aristotle's works were largely ignored. It was only the Muslim scholars in the 9th to 12th century, they translated actually the Greek works to Arabic. So then when the Renaissance happened, these Arabic works were translated to this other, in maybe English language. So many of the things, they were kind of a revolution during the time of Renaissance. So Aristotle was rediscovered again by the Islam scholars from 9th to around 12th century. Then some guy came and Islam suddenly became fully conservative. So that was the kind of an end of that golden period of Islam. It's a scientific, any number of things, the algebra, algorithm, many of the stars, astronomy, all this comes from this Arabic world. Their name, whoever discovers first, they can get to keep the name, right? Then this guy in 12th, 13th century, one Italian guy, he took Indian numbers and he mixed them with the Arabic ideology. That becomes Hindu Arabic numbers. That becomes the standard of the world. They filled all the other limitations which all the other numerical systems had. Everything was fixed. Zero was firmly established. Aryabhatta had given the idea of zero, but I think it was Bhaskaracharya or someone, or Bhaskara, who actually defined the properties of zero, how to use zero in a number system. It's a very interesting concept, zero. Actually, even the Babylons had one placeholder after one, just given space. That was signifying only a placeholder, but there was no digit zero as such. So when you are writing big numbers, if there are 2, 3 zeros, how many gaps you will see? How many? If there are 3 zeros, how will you judge the gap of how many zeros? You can write the letters big and small also, right? But if there is a digit, all the problem will be solved. Roman numerals had no zero at all. It's one of the classic mistakes made by the 5th century. Some guy, he was calculating the age of the earth through the Bible. So back then there was no idea of zero in the West. So he did not include zero from the BC to AD. He came -1 plus 1. There was no zero in between. If he added zero, this year would be 2020 now. There was no concept of zero at all. Directly from -1 to +1 it will jump. He did that one mistake. And another mistake what he did was, during the time of Jesus, he said there was a census going on. But there wasn't census going on during the Jesus period, but 4 years before Jesus was born. So actually now Jesus is born not in 0 AD or 1 AD. Jesus is actually born in -3 or -4 BC. Jesus is not, because of his error. So that 2 errors he did. So Jesus is born at, but people usually think he's born at 1 AD. But actually historically Jesus is born 2 or 3 years before. Interesting things how history unfolds. See, West had its own ideologies. We had the Eastern things. Then the Chinese had Confucianism, Taoism. Then Japanese had their own Shinto. Largely this nature worshipping things. Most of the kings were treated as gods themselves in many of the civilizations of the world. So yeah, a lot of things have happened in history. History is a very interesting thing. History is what is the story of us. How did we reach here? What atrocities did we do? How many bloods of rivers we have flown? How many incredible violence? How many people we have killed? Oh my God. It's estimated about 100 to 125 billion humans perhaps have lived till date. Modern humans, not Neanderthals, that are all different. Okay, our species. 100 to 125 billion. No, how many? Maybe 7.8 billion are alive. Almost 90% who were always alive, they were dead. They are dead now. Where are they? A lot of things. A lot of things.